All right, so this is Fireside chat number 2, and just waiting for people to come on in. But if they don't come in, it's fine, and we're going to carry on, and I'll hopefully put this up, and people can watch later. So, because I know it's like 1 o'clock during the day in the east, and which makes it about 10 a.m. in the west, like in Vegas. So we'll just see what happens. All right, we got a couple people coming in. Just let me say hi. Tell me who you are. We're going to talk a little bit about Bigfoot today. Just hoping I get some more people in here, and we're going to talk about some of the squatchiest places I've ever been, and just talk about Bigfoot for a little bit. I forgot to put tags on my upload, so I can do that afterwards. Um, but like I said, I'll put this up, leave it up later for uh, people to watch later, and then I'll put the tags on it and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, if you're out there, let me know who you are, who's coming in, and we'll go from there. Thanks for coming in. I know it's like getting close to Christmas, about 11 days away. And I just thought, be a good time just to look at the pretty Christmas tree right there. And be a good time to talk about some of the squatchiest places that I've ever been. Andy's not identifying himself. I'm like Bigfoot. I'm just lurking in the background. But thanks for coming in, Andy. And Dave has said, I'm about to go back to work. Merry Christmas, everyone. So that's cool. Thanks for coming in. Hey, hit that like button. And I don't know Andy. Unfortunately, I do know Andy very well. And now he's been a blessing in my life for sure. So all that he's gone through. So if y'all don't know Andy Goodspeed's story, he had stage 4 stomach cancer. When I got that news, I was devastated. I can't even imagine what Andy was thinking. And then, gosh, his last report, he's cancer free. He keeps going to, I think it's immunotherapy and stuff like that. And he still doing well. So let's hope he keeps it up. That's just outstanding. So Andy says, no, you don't. I don't know him. So anybody out there, let us know who's here. I think there's Shaky's reviews. And he says, I like Shaky's reviews because he says, I recently found your channel. Keep up the great content. Thank you very much. Yeah, we do little bourbon hunting. We do all kind of stuff. Bigfoot is in hikes. I did a great hike. When was that? Day before yesterday, and Roaring Run. That was a beautiful hike. Andy says he's doing Bigfoot immunotherapy. I guess they're trying to change him from a Bigfoot into a human. So I don't know what's going on with Andy. But, one of the biggest, I think, misconceptions, and if you that if you're ever in the, I've learned so much studying Bigfoot that I've come to realize there's like two different factions of people, and there may be more. Well, there's a lot of different groups of people, but there's this one faction that tries to perpetuate, and it is a myth, that they are an ape, and they try to come up with this thing called a gigantic pithecus and all these words like that's who it is. It's not an ape. I'm just telling you, it's not an ape. If you read some research, you'll see that there's been actual DNA studies done, and the DNA studies that have come back have been that it's an unknown human hybrid. So that's pretty crazy. So Andy, most I'm going to ignore most of Andy's stories or comments, I guess. He says, Bourbon Talk, subscribe to whatever. Oh, don't, go ahead. Yeah, y'all subscribe to Andy at a Good Times Productions. He's a good one. Really enjoy the Gatlinburg videos. Did you hear about news out of there yesterday? No, I didn't hear any news. What's going on with Gatlinburg? Because that's one place that I absolutely love is Gatlinburg. So he'll post that in a minute. But here's what's here's one of the greatest books ever written on Bigfoot, and this was by David Paulides, called The Hoopa Project. And what is cool about what David Paulides did is he went out and he hired a guy named Harvey Pratt, who was a forensic sketch artist. You know how it's like somebody commits a crime and they don't really have a good lead, but they'll go ahead and talk to they'll get the forensic artist to come in and get somebody to draw a sketch of what they saw, what the person looked like. And from that sketch, a lot of times these things are so close to the real person. It's amazing just by them saying, oh no, his jawbone was a little more, wide or thin or whatever. And there's Ronnie C. Good to see you, Ronnie C. Andy, if you want to eat a human, Andy says, I wonder if you taste like chicken. I don't think I hope no one's ever eaten a Bigfoot. Would you eat a gorilla if they are ape, or would you eat a human if they're human hybrid? And there's Random Gene. He says, hello, everyone listening in the background while I make my coffee and get my daily to-do list from the wife. Oh, yeah. He says, in all seriousness, I love the holiday decor walk. Tina did a great job decorating while you're out hunting for bourbon and Bigfoot. Yep. Yeah. Tina does a nice job, I have to admit. And usually when she starts decorating, Andy's right. I leave because I don't want to be around it. And there's Anthony, Sneaky Vegas Sunrise. Thanks for coming in. I got several members, and Random Gene is now the newest member. And we appreciate you, Gene, for coming in and support me. He's been watching for a couple years, so I appreciate him doing this. And of course, we got Ronnie C and Anthony from Sneaky Vegas Sunrise, so that's cool. And so anyway, so what I was talking about was that David Paulides hired Harvey Pratt because he went out and talked to the people that had Bigfoot sightings in the Hoopa area. It's called the Hoopa Project, and that's in Willow Creek, where I actually saw the Bigfoot out there. That's another story, and we'll talk about that. That's probably the squatchiest place I've ever been. So Andy's saying, you are Andy, you are here. Yes, Andy's here. Maybe he's on some of those medications he's been on in the last few years has got Andy a little confused. He's thinking he's a Bigfoot. He's thinking he's his dog's rear end, and but he's actually here. Now, the this this is going to amaze you. So when I say that he's not Bigfoot is or Bigfoot, and there's probably 5 to 10,000 of them, if not more, that we know. So the people talk to the sketch artist, and here's what I'm going to show you: some of the sketches that people that Harvey Pratt, when they said this is what the what the Bigfoot looked like, you're going to be blown away by some of these pictures. Look at this. That does kind of look like Andy Goodspeed. It does not look like an ape, does it? Here's another picture. Look at that. That doesn't look like an ape either. I mean, these things are amazing, and a lot of them, they're different. They're just like humans. Not every human looks alike. Here's another one. Check this. This thing's pretty amazing. Look at this picture. I mean, that's crazy. And then there's somebody that Andy says he's hairier, so maybe Andy looks like this. Notice the nose. They don't have the ape nose. They have a covered nose. So that is all crazy. Here's another one that I think is pretty cool. Here's another picture of the Bigfoot that somebody said this is what they saw. Now these are eyewitnesses that had an encounter, and there's several more pictures like this in this book, which is pretty crazy. And here's another one. Couple of those. So I just think that is just amazing. So if anybody thinks that looks like an ape, I can tell you right now, none of those look like an ape to me. And but anyway, thanks everybody for coming in, and I'm going to show you any questions from comments seriously about any of that, any of those pictures that I just showed. And if you're watching this later, leave a comment what you think about these pictures. Now they're actual forensic artist sketches. Like this is a guy that actually did sketch artists for people that were trying to identify criminals. What did they look like? Things like that. Good point, Andy. He says, isn't it nice that all the men could get together this afternoon to chat while the wives are working for a living? And Anthony says, hey, Walt, have you seen the newest footage? It's pretty crazy. It shows trees getting thrown around. Oh, wow. Now, I haven't seen that. I know that there was a video about these guys. I think they were in Oregon or Washington, and they were logging. And then you can see from the woods this big tree just being thrown like, I don't know, 75 feet. This is like a huge round tree. Now, there is no humans going to be able to do that. This is crazy. There's Neil Macedo, another member coming in. Good morning, Neil. Good to have you in here. Yeah, send me the link, Andy. Anthony, that'd be great. That would be great. So, speaking of monsters, I'm drinking a monster, and I'm gonna play this little clip. Now, this is a place where I had gone, and this was when this happened to me, probably around 2016, 2017, even before I was doing YouTube. I didn't see a Bigfoot, but I heard these knocks, and it made me start looking into more, doing research about Bigfoot, and so let me show you this clip. This is pretty crazy. All right, so if you haven't, I don't know what the spoiler alert is. Let me show you this little video. Oops. Let me go down here to present. I'm gonna share my screen, and let me know, guys, if you can hear the sound, and you might want to turn your volume up. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one we're gonna play. And let me know if you can hear the knocks, if you can hear the video. Let me know.
Did you hear that?
Now listen to these 3 knocks.
I hope the camera picked that up. There was 2 knocks and then 3 knocks.
So, so could you hear that? Could you hear the video playing? And Neil says yes, yes, yes. He could hear it. Now, I have gone back to this place several times. If you might want to try to find that video. It's called Bigfoot Tree Knocks. And Neil said, "Thanks, Neil, loud and clear." And so I appreciate that. So I'm out in the woods in Blue Ridge. It probably takes me about 45 minutes to get there from here. And Andy said that's a neighbor working on his new deck. Well, the problem with that is I'm 2 miles into the woods and there is nobody working on a deck. I mean, if you ever pull up a screen area of this place, you'll see how remote it is. And I hike in there about 1.5 miles or so, and that's when these sounds came. And I tell you what, it freaked me out. And from then, I walked on down from that point, and I got to this old cemetery, and it's out there. And that's when I'm standing. There's the Gallivanters. Hey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you guys. And everybody's saying hi to them. So appreciate you guys coming in. And so that's when, like, after the tree knocks, most people would have left, but you know me, I'm kind of crazy. So I just kept on going. And but I was kind of unnerved, and so I kept on going. I got to this place where this old cemetery from like 1700s, and just standing there feeling kind of creepy, and I hear what sounded like this huge rock being thrown on the ground. And so I turn around and I'm looking, but I don't see anything. And I hear a grunt. Oh. And I'm like, oh, now it's time to go. Now it is time to go. So I got out of there pretty daggone quick as my old knees could take me. So that was pretty crazy. But that is one of the squatchiest areas just off the Blue Ridge Parkway in Virginia. Not too far from Roanoke, probably 30 minutes from Roanoke. All right, guys, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's good. I appreciate you, everyone that's coming in. It's nice of y'all. Got some of my members in there. He says, "This is why I always take Simone Andy with me hiking. I love her. I have her bring her a chainsaw. Only Andy." And Gallivander's saying hi to Andy. Neil's been a member for 6 months. Wow, thanks, Neil. That's awesome. Appreciate that. He still has not seen or heard a yowie yet. I've heard that they are in Australia, but that's crazy. So now let me take you to another place, and this is where I actually saw the Bigfoot. And let me highlight this because Neil says he hadn't seen it or heard a yowie yet. And I'm not saying 100% that what I heard was a Bigfoot, but I will say 100% it was not somebody building a deck. It wasn't a woodpecker. There wasn't anybody else in the woods. I mean, I'm a mile and a half into the woods. There was nobody there. And I didn't bring a buddy because as y'all know, I don't have many friends. And so I was just out there. And a lot of stuff that I do by myself. So anyway, so then I went to California because like I'm starting to get this. I just want to be able to see one, see a Bigfoot. So I went to where the Patterson Gamblin film was made from 1967. So if you haven't watched that, you need to watch that. So I went out there and I saw one, but unfortunately I didn't catch it on film. But let me present my screen to you again. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of this. If you haven't watched this video, you need to watch. This is a really interesting video. And I'm going to play this from this point. I mean, if you just look at the background here, look at these woods, how thick these pine trees are huge.
It's Bigfoot stuff every once in a while. And if he does exist, let me tell you what, this is this is one of the places that in the Smoky Mountains where there's been many, many sightings.
True.
But this is a deep, deep forest.
It is.
So anyway, leave your comments. I mean, I'd like to hear what you think. Like I said, I'm not going to try to convince you of anything. I just hope you enjoy the video, and we'll go up here and we'll see if we can find Bluff Creek before it's dark. But most likely, I'm going to have to come back in the morning. I got such a late start today, where it took me 9 hours to get here.
So here's coming up where I actually saw the Bigfoot after this bear runs out in front of me, which I'm trying to get the bear on film. And as I'm driving, you can see the sun is starting to set. I've got my headlights on. And the bear went over. So I'm pulling over because I want to try to get this bear on film. So let's listen to what I'm saying right here.
I didn't see a Bigfoot, but I did see a black bear. Let's go see if we can get him.
Seems like Bigfoot are always near big pine trees.
I had just turned my camera off and set it down, and then here comes this black bear running right in the middle of the road. And I tried to pick it up and turn it back on, but I don't think it caught it.
Now, coming up, I want you to see the difference. You can see my face right there. I'm smiling. I don't look scared. I don't look worried. But you'll see the change in just a few seconds.
Anything.
Because I'm going to turn the camera off and then I'm going to continue looking for the bear, but then you'll see what happens in just a second.
I believe he went right down in here.
I'm still looking for that bear.
Pretty good sized bear too. Dang it. Maybe I'll see another one. As long as I don't see any little baby bears, then I'll be all right. If I see them,
Yeah,
I don't want to be near mama.
you don't want to see
happens.
mama bear.
I did see something walking in the woods, and it was not a bear.
Now look at my face right there. Guys, I saw something that just blew my mind.
It was on two legs. Holy shit. Oh. I see bear over there.
Guys, this blew my mind. It was crazy. Unfortunately, as the shadows were being cast into the woods, the GoPro wasn't going to pick that up, even if I did have my camera on. As you can see, those are thick woods.
Okay. Little adventure for the night.
So, Gene says he sees things in Vegas on two legs every day that blows my mind. Let's see if I miss anything. All right, guys, any questions? Walt does look good with glasses. Yeah, so I even had my glasses on when I saw this thing. There's Terry Meyer. Thanks for coming in, Terry. Hello, everyone. Could you hear the sound on that? Thumbs up or tell me. Neil, you're good at that. Tell me if the sound was good on that video. That was a crazy thing. And this thing, like, yeah, Tom and Mindy's here. Hey, Tom. Good to see you. You're never late. You can always go back and watch it a little bit. We're not going to be on very much longer. And Neil said the sound was good. Thank you, Neil. And so anyway, why does Tina never go with you on these Bigfoot exploring experiences? Because she's working. And also when I was when that video happened, that was 2021. I was living in Kingman, Arizona at that time. And Tina was still in Virginia. So I would always go, and that's the one thing that built my channel up, because I would go to ghost towns. I did some Bigfoot hunting, went to all kind of cool places, and just had a great time. And Tina was good enough, but she flew out. We got some Vegas. She'd fly out, and we went to Vegas a lot. Any other questions? That's a good one. And then when I went camping overnight, it's like I pick weeknights to do the stuff like that, so that when Tina and I together, we can have a good time. But now there was a time where Tina has gone with me. Andy, you're something else. He said, I feel like having Tina with you would give you a reason to jump on her for comfort when you're scared. Yep, that's the truth. Now there was another time that I was with Tina was with me. We went up the Boat Mountain Trail in not Gatlinburg, but the Great Smoky Mountains, and we didn't say anything, but we felt like things were watching us the whole time. There is a clip that I had that I wasn't sure what I saw. I never posted it. I couldn't really make it out. And to me, I almost felt like it was a dog man. That's another whole thing. But you could see its eyes gleaming. And but we did that thing about Dennis Martin, who went disappearing when he was like 7, 8 years old. And I would say just watch that video, and you can check that out. But I can show you just a little clip of this. Let me share my screen again. No questions, no Bigfoot questions, nobody commenting, nobody saying anything, but which is all cool if you don't have questions. And if you don't believe, that's all cool too. Let me show you this place where Tina was with me. And it's right here. This was on the video of the Dennis Martin disappearance, which this is a very interesting case, a lot of twists and turns. So when we were there just telling the story, and so I'll
Heard of them coming in to search for anybody. What are they looking for? What are they doing if they come here? So I will say this. There's a YouTuber. I cannot remember his link down here, but he has a video where he says he knows what happened to Dennis Miller.
Martin.
Well, yeah, Dennis. We don't want anything to happen to Dennis Miller. I'm all fogged up again. He said he knows what happens to Dennis Martin. The people around here knows what happened to Dennis Martin. And he basically says it was wild men. And
so this guy who did videos, his channel South Force 10. If you watch this disappearance of Dennis Martin in the Smoky Mountains, I put a link in the description of South Force 10 in that channel. And he talks about how he knows it was wild men that took Dennis Martin. See, in the Smokies, they call Bigfoot basically wild men. In West Virginia, they call him the old man of the mountain. And so, doesn't that look like a wild man? So, anyway, let's listen just a little bit longer to this.
also, curious that the FBI agent in charge of this committed suicide. And a lot of people say what happened in the guy's video. So I'm just going on this guy's video, not saying I don't believe him, but I think it's curious to think about. They say he committed suicide because the Green Beret came in and they laid out 13 wild men bodies. And the FBI agent couldn't bear it because they looked, like humans or whatever. And they say that's what weighed on him. I don't know. That's pure speculation and I don't like to speculate. I'm just repeating what the guy said in his video. And it makes you think, is there some truth to that? We don't know. All we do know is Dennis Martin disappeared. We've never seen him before. I'm not going to speculate what it was or anything like that. That's for you to decide. I will say the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is one of the one of the highest numbers of missing person cases in the United States.
Right.
The highest definitely in the East, but it falls behind Yosemite in the West, which Yosemite has the most missing people cases. And we're not talking about missing people where, foul play, committed suicide. We think something was bad. We're just talking about missing people that,
have never been found.
Like Dennis Martin. I mean, we just don't know what happened. And that's kind of weird.
Very mysterious.
Now,
I thought I saw something.
Right there, you can see, let's see.
It
right
got
there.
my attention.
I thought I saw something move in the woods. It could have been anything. But also, if I put headphones on, I could hear like a whoof, something like that. And that really got my curiosity up right there. But anyway, that's another. And there's Tina with me on that one, Andy. So just thought I'd share that one with you. But anyway, yeah, the Dennis Martin story is disturbing. Yeah, you have to look this up. It's a really good video, or look up that story. And it says, who would you fear most running into the woods, Sasquatch or backwoods Appalachian mountain wind? By far, I'm most scared of people. It ain't even close. Now, are there? There's a lot of. There's a lot of people that go missing. Hunters, people hiking alone, people that are with groups and they're just kind of straggling, they disappear. But there have, I've been camping a lot. Is a lot of times most of the time people that worry me are just people. But when you see a Bigfoot, somebody like when I saw the one in Willow Creek, people were like, well, why didn't you run down the hill and take a picture? And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the last thing that's going to come across your mind. You're not going to run after this thing. He was at least 9-10 feet tall. So I'm not running after him. I'm going to keep my distance. So that's that. So that's a great question, Gene. It says moonshine has to do with a lot of those missing people, and many moonshiners look like, yeah, maybe so, but moonshiners they're never going to mess with innocent people, and they're never going to take an 8-year-old kid. These people who make moonshiner are, you know, they got families. They value people. So yeah, definitely. Are there moonshiners from the Smokies? Yes. Some of them might look like crazy, but most of them are not 8 feet tall. I've never seen a moonshiner that's 8 feet tall. Santa Claus, Gene, Santa would scare me the most. Okay, Andy. And then Andy says, true, Tom, but I love Tom, but you know, moonshiners might, if you're out there nosing around in the woods, they're going to tell you to get off. And also they're going to, you know, if they think you're a regulator or something like that, they're going to tell you that. But now they've pretty much moonshiners, man, they're hard to find anymore. I mean, you can make them for your own consumption, but you just can't sell now. And Andy says, Simone threatens to make me disappear at least once a week. I doubt that. So anyway, the Dennis Martin case is a crazy, crazy case. And then there's one more, and I'm not going to play it today because I'm going to get off here. We've been going for about 40 minutes. The other story is about Trini Gibson. You might want to check that out, Neil, if you hadn't. Did I find it difficult to come out of the closet as to speak as I believe? No, because my whole life, I really have never cared what other people think, you know, and so like, I don't care. If people don't believe me, then I don't care. That's them. I don't lose sleep over it. I don't want to, you know, it's just, now there's some people that are just not believers and they try to put their opinions on me. Well, I'm going to give them some, you know, I can tell them all facts all day long. So anyway, but that's just me. I don't really, Andy never harassed. Andy don't harass me about Bigfoot, but Andy harasses me about everything else in life. But I'm sure I give it back to him just as much. So Andy's funny, and I really appreciate you guys coming in. So that's a great question, Gene. I appreciate that. Now it's like I've always lived my life. You know, it's like I believe in Jesus Christ, and that's I don't worry about that either. That's what I believe in. Thank God. And I've seen Bigfoot, and then the one thing was said, how can they both exist? Well, there's giants in the Bible. So what were they? We don't know. Also, there's some stuff about the Nephilim in the Bible. So I don't know. That's going down a whole another path. And he says it's tough love, Walter. So anybody else have any questions? And I think if you came in late, I would watch again. It's not going to be that long. There's some really good clips. I was going to show a couple more, but time, you know, I don't want to stay on here too long. Any other questions? Because that's a great question, Gene. Thanks for coming in, asking a few good questions. And you're not going to insult me when you ask a good question like Tom. Tom's answered good questions. Is moonshiners, could they have kidnapped people? Yeah, I'm sure moonshiners were crazy back in the day. Probably did some things. Neil says, can I come hiking with you, Walter? Absolutely. Absolutely. Or maybe I need to come down there, Neil, and we'll go find Yowie out there. But we want to get Michael Ford because he's a big old guy. We could use him. Do you think Sasquatch is earthly or extraterrestrial? You know, that's a really, really good question because there's a lot of people that have reported before seeing a Bigfoot, they saw lights or orbs. And there's a lot of people think that the reason that Bigfoot is so hard to find is that he steps through portals. I mean, I don't know. All I can say is what I saw was real, and I didn't see any lights before him or anything like that. Him or her, whatever it was. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't want to refute that they might be otherworldly. I haven't had that experience, so I don't know. But the Hoopa Indians, these are the sketches of the things they saw. They look human. They look beastly. So I don't know. That's a great question, because there's some people think they're apes. There's some people that do think they're like coming through portals. Others even say aliens or whatever. And Tom says, I'm not saying there is no Bigfoot, but I grew up in Tennessee, and moonshiners will terminate anyone who could tell the look. Yeah, that's for 100% sure, Tom. That is true. So because that was those guys' livelihoods. It's even like today, like most moonshiners have been, I mean, the government went after them hard. And like I said, there's still some that make it for their own consumption. But if you ever see the ginseng hunters, they'll kill you over their ginseng. If you're trying to get ginseng from their hillside or wherever they have that's their honey hole for hunting ginseng, you could get killed there too. So Tom is 100% right. I was just thinking that when you're talking about Dennis Martin, I don't think a moonshiner took him. It was that where he went disappearing was right near the Appalachian Trail. I don't think anybody would have a moonshine still up there in the Smokies, even in the 60s. Now there's places, man, there used to be tons of places in the Smoky Mountains because they could hide their steels back in little crevices and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely agree with that, Tom. Just watch the movie Lawless, which is here about Franklin County, Virginia, and you'll see some crazy stuff. And Andy says, let's see. So yeah, good question, Tom, or good comment. Why do you think there is a cluster of sightings in the Rockies and Blue Ridge Mountains? I think because the habitats there are both, although the Rockies are higher, mountainous. I think even in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it's more. There's easier places to hide. The woods in the West Virginia and Virginia, we got steep hillsides. It's dark in there, and one of the main reasons is there's all kind of game. There's deer, there's bear, there's raccoons, there's all kind of wildlife. There's berries, there's all kind of food. That's what makes a good habitat, same as the Rockies. That's why I think so. That's a great question too, Andy. Oh, he said the Smokies and not Rockies. Yeah, the Smokies and yeah. So yeah, I just think that answers it because there's so much different vegetation. There's so many places to hide. There's places in the Smoky Mountains people have never been. I can guarantee you. There's places in West Virginia that people have never been. I mean, it's almost impossible to get to some of these places. Other than what you have witnessed, what would you consider to be irrefutable evidence of the existence of Sasquatch to make a skeptic change? If you read the book by Scott Carpenter, Truth Denied, then you'll see the DNA evidence that was taken. And just like the media likes to twist things, if they don't like the narrative, this is what happened in the Truth Denied case. There were 11 cases of DNA that was taken, and they basically tried to refute the DNA. And I think, but if you read the book by Scott Carpenter, who lives in the Smokies, and if you ever see his channel, go to Scott Carpenter, watch some of his channel. Now, this dude is smart, really smart. Scott Carpenter. So yeah, it's let me type his name. Scott Carpenter, who is really, he's good friends with this guy, David Politis, and they did the DNA studies. So all kind of good stuff. And this book right here, you know, all the witnesses in this book with David Politis, the Hoopa Project, he made every person sign an affidavit saying that if they lied, they could be sued for perjury. So they all signed this sheet of paper saying that they could be sued for perjury if they was proven that they lied. I don't even know, Andy. Some great questions. I love the questions, guys. Any more? Anybody out there have anything else they want to say? I'm not completely crazy. Oh, yeah. David Politis, big on Bigfoot. And that's what, when he was doing the research, and this is very interesting, Gene, when David Politis did the research on the Hoopa Project, and there was another tribal Bigfoot, he did those two books. When he was doing these books, that's what led him to realize there's been missing people that have never been accounted for in some of these areas. And they've never been found, just like Dennis Martin. Not one stitch of evidence was left from Dennis Martin. He was snatched up or zoomed up. Something picked him up and carried him off, and he was never seen again. And there's a lot of cases like that. So when David Politis was doing the Bigfoot books, that's what led him to start realizing there's a lot of missing people. Now, he never relates it exactly to Bigfoot, but there's something weird going on where you got if he's got like 4 volumes of these books of missing people. That's crazy. Italian American, Andy. I believe how could you not? And this was fun, Walter. Next time, let's talk about Santa sightings. 'Tis the season, and bring Miss Claus with you. Yes, we'll do that on Saturday. And there's Major Zero. That's one of my favorite bourbon hunters. I watch him, and he's good guy. And Tom says he would lean toward believing in inbred families of giant woodsmen, only the largest of them. Yeah, there are some giants. Gene says, Walt, look up the disappearance of Kenny Veach. I've seen that story, Gene. He was a Las Vegas native that went missing in the desert just outside of Vegas. Lots of strange happenings around yeah. You know, and that's, you know, we go to another thing about aliens. I mean, do you believe in aliens? I mean, it's crazy. He says, I have Santa. Yeah, guys, y'all should see Major Zero if you want to see Santa. It's the best Santa I've seen. He's on there. Go check out Major Zeros. He's been doing some videos, and I'm sorry I haven't commented, but I've been watching them. They're pretty good. I sent the link, Walt. It starts at minute 36. Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. I did not want to go an hour, but I'm going to get off here right now. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you came in late, watch from the beginning. It's pretty interesting. So take care.